Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ETF2L Season 29 Week 6 matchup between wer das liest is doof, or just the Germans, versus the bus crew. The playoffs, they're looming, they're getting closer, and this could be a very important match. So I cannot wait to do this. But joining me tonight on production is going to be Hamaham, and then none other than our American guest, Ro, will be here to join in the action. So how are you doing, Ro?
Feeling pretty groovy, you know, it's the middle of the day here in America, so it's just kind of like a whatever kind of thing, you know, like I can take a nap after this or something.
Oh,
It's very, very casual for me here. Very calm.
That sounds absolutely amazing. I think they're gonna go live pretty soon, so I think we just jump right into some stats and some sheets. So let's look at the league or the Prem tables if we can, Hammerham. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, Magic has commenced, and as you can see, we have Ascent and 7 pretty comfortably in there, but the Nunya and the Germans and then Omni 5 and the Swamp, they're all pretty well positioned to all get in this match or get into the playoffs. So this is all about whether or not the Germans can really secure enough points to secure their playoff spot here. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, just the logs were being a little weird for me for these tables. It's been a continuing issue here, but yeah. No, refreshing the page doesn't help. It's just it can be weird sometimes. But I've got the list here still, and everything with that penalty, that jarring penalty right next to 7.
Yeah, so things that are worth noticing here is that the Germans and the bus crew both have 10 maps played, which we play 2 maps every match basically. So these are the individual maps. So they're one match behind. That's 2 maps, and that's 6 points overall. That's up for grabs, and that means that the bus crew, they can make it up a little higher. They can overtake or Electro, which is not that important. Technically, the bus crew can actually make it into the playoffs if like a miracle happens and the right people lose all their matches and the bus crew beats everyone. But that's probably not a very realistic prospect. I think the most important one is to notice, like, to look at how the Germans will actually be able to perform against the bus crew and secure enough points to be in a good position to make a good playoff run here. Because the Swamp and Omni 5 or the basketball team or Rakusen, whatever you want to call them, they are all pretty well positioned as well to get in here. And there's still the possibility that you can run into 7 and Ascent at the end of here. I'm going to actually look up what the schedule is for the remainder of this season for them.
So because I'm American and because you're saying these names and I'm not familiar with them or the players tied to them, which one is Mughal and which one is Prem?
Mughal is the Germans.
Gotcha.
Basically, Mughal is a German, I'm pretty sure, and they just for some reason have his name in all of their names for some reason, which I'm not quite familiar. It's some sort of inside joke, I'm sure.
But, yeah, I just wanted to know which one, because I'm just hearing bus crew and the Germans.
Oh yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Wer das liest is doof. You were close.
It's close. That's good.
Yeah. Let's go through the roster, Hammerham, so we can actually look at these enigmatic Germans and some British people and Swedish people as well, so that are on that team. And here they are. And on Medic, we have a German. So it's Kratos. He kind of made his grand return. He played Overwatch for a while, I'm pretty sure, and then he just, for reasons that I'm not sure of, he decided to come back, and he's been pretty good. Then we have Smear, who took over for the previous demo Leto, who was a German, but Smear is Swedish, so that means that they had to switch to English comms. And then Fiskopf, that means Fishhead. It's a pocket soldier who's been kind of an up-and-coming high-level soldier in the lower leagues. I don't say lower, I mean like in high or in Div 1 or whatever you want to call it. So he's been pretty good and an up and coming. Then we have Stefan or Shocky or Stefan.
Shocky.
Yeah, that's
my favorite player in Europe, hands down.
Yeah, so
there was that dry spell for like the last 2 or 3 years where he was just not playing, and then he came back, and I was really happy.
Yeah, he was actually playing in like Div 2-ish. Like he was playing in some lower leagues, I'm pretty sure. So he was never really gone, but he wasn't like at the top competitive level. So, It's good to see him back. He's definitely a legend of the game, and you can never just count him out. He doesn't really tend to get really good DPM or anything, but his KD is usually very good, and he just does things really well, and he plays very smart. There's some games I'm just rubbing off. Then we have Clip. He's listed as roamer, but I'm actually pretty sure he's the pocket. I think they switched at some point during the season, but he's actually been having a very good season so far, and he's been doing a lot of work. He's gotten a lot of points on Fantasy TF2. There was a bit of a controversy there, just he was too good in in overtime, and then finally we have Idelas, who's kind of another up-and-coming scout. I think this is his first season in Prem. And they've actually started, so we can't even go through the other team. It's going to be Poison on Pocket, Tops on Roamer, Alba on Scout, Phillips is apparently an American on Scout and Merking, and then we have Jan, Demoman, and Martin on Medic. But yeah, take it away, Ro. First minute.
Yeah, we see Crafty getting onto Martin there over in the back lines. Was able to pressure him. Alba, meanwhile, going into a great 1v1, pistoling down Idolos. He's going to be coming back in here, but the rest of the red team, Mughals, the Germans, taking control of the point, but they are aware of Alba behind. There's a little bit of pressure from Fishkoff, who is pushing forward. Now he's going to be backing out through this connector while the rest of the bus crew start taking their way back in, and it's Phelps. He is American. He will be filling in on the scout role with the 130 ping. And we'll see some action here shortly because both teams are about to have Uber, but Crafty is on Sniper.
Yeah, they almost made their way back in here. Like, we saw the bus crew really, because they had this one scout behind, everyone from the Germans had to go back for him, and they couldn't quite make it in. So they will just be backing off for now, and it's an even Uber. They can play around their sniper, or they can just go in and try to get Ubers out of the way. We'll see how they do. It's going to send in the soldier first, it looks like. Yeah, a nice shot in there from Tops. And there's a lot of pressure, and now we have the Uber exchange.
Yeah. Looks like the cap couldn't quite get off, and Crafty going to hit the first shot of the evening. Taking down Alba there on his back heel. And the Uber forced out from Germans trying to push in. Did manage to push some players back, but did not grab the desired target, which would be Martin. So, with all these frags going in their favor, the Germans are still feeling pretty comfortable right now, holding on to this point, with Phelps putting a little bit of pressure from the cliff side. The rest of the scouts also trying to call things out, but that sniper on China is just causing so much problems for this angle they're trying to push.
The Germans are using the classic two scouts and the sniper setup here. It's a very strong lineup that a lot of people have been used. If you have a good sniper, you can definitely reap a lot of rewards here. So now we have a lot of aggression coming in, just pouring in here. The bus crew looks like they're just going to push everyone back, and both medics are still alive, but the Fishkoff will get a nice pick there on Jan. Ooh, air shot by Top. Just jumps in onto Crafty. That was a nice little flash to get up there, but they have actually lost a lot of players, so I think the Germans will be able to recap this.
Yeah, taking down Crafty there is really good there, but there's still at a disadvantage as far as Ubers go, because right now they're trying to push their way in, taking advantage of the no sniper situation, but it's not going to work because Crafty's already back up, respawned, and we're going to be seeing another even Uber exchange here very shortly if someone doesn't snatch it right from Martin's hands. Oh, the angle is so close to get pushed, and they're going to force off Uber, get into the face of Kratos, who is just now popping his off to counter. They're getting in deep, but Poison has taken this opportunity to get behind, try and get on top of Crafty, but Crafty surfs it away, and his scout and soldier buddy are going to help him take care of this threat. But the point has opened up because of all this distraction, and now we do see very good initiation from Tobbs there, trying to keep some players back here, but their cap might not go off. They might even lose their demo here. Jan so low! Does hit the pipe onto the medic, though.
Yeah, that was a really crucial pipe. Kratos is not happy about this one. The Germans, so far, it's been a lot of times where someone gets behind them, and then they're really good at just going back there, cleaning that guy up, and then going back in. The bus crew, they do move in like they should, but they just don't quite manage to actually hold on to the point afterwards. So they don't quite get enough space and room, and just positioning on their opponents by sending someone behind. So that's just a really good show of coordination from the Germans, but thanks to that medic getting picked off by a random pipe, they are able to go in here and Bus Crew will cap it out. And there's only 20 seconds left on the clock-ish for the Germans.
Yeah, the Germans did a lot of work there, so it's really a lot of pressure for the Bus Crew to hold on to this. They got poor Jan waiting for an arrow, hiding in fear behind the little trash area. Don't remember what to call it these days. But right now, Crafty has got that sight line over the hill. Almost spots out a scout there to grab. Martin's going to be very far away from any danger here. Everyone's playing so passive, and I don't see the Germans taking advantage of the space that is being given by the mere presence of Crafty. Finally, they're starting to work their way to the point here. Shocky doing a lot of work here, grabbing the backside. Poison, who was on the cliff, could not get out of the sights of Crafty, and so he's going to go down, and then follow up onto this other soldier near Connector. Both soldiers so weak. The Uber exchange happens on the point here. It's looking really good, though, for the Germans. They've got much better numbers, and Phelps getting piped there. He's not going to be able to survive, and Alba also backing out with the rest of the team. They're going to have to repush here very shortly, or it's curtains for the first round.
That was a really superior Uber coming out from Kratos, just milking it for all it's worth, and Crafty hitting that nice little headshot to get an entry pick. Just the Germans playing it really well. They were very passive. They were just waiting for that Uber. They didn't want to go in without it, but here comes the soldier and onto the medic, but the nice little serve from Kratos will make it out of it. But the Germans, they're actually just folding. They're going to go back, it looks like, apart from a single demo man. So this is not over yet. And Bosku, they know they have to just to hold on to this, otherwise they're going to lose. There's only 2 seconds on the clock.
Right now, we do see the flank kind of playing a lot, very scattered over on the connector, and as a result, Crafty, once again, getting those shots he needs to. Not a lot of pressure coming from all sides. It's really mostly just the Germans walking in for free because it's just so domineering to have a sniper on China. The Uber gets forced off, though, but it's going to be going into the face of Kratos' Uber, who's coming back in. Just need a tiny little bit of cap point.
It's so capped. Oh my god.
Smear was doing so much damage there to clear the point, but they are not giving up. The bus crew are holding on to this, going to grab Idolos, and then a follow-up bomb from Mr. Poison, or excuse me, Tobbs is going to get taken down there, but not before grabbing Fishcop with the help of Poison, working his way across the point. He's backing in and out there, barely held onto it, but there's another shot from Crafty, taking down that soldier. It's not going to be, it's pretty much all of Alba right now, and he gets piped. Smear not going to be allowing any more pressure from there, and I think it's going to be a collapse here. There's no way they can hold on to this. They get the cap.
1 second, 2 seconds, they need to get onto the point, otherwise it's just going to cap out right in. Yeah, they do jump onto the point, but yeah, Fishcop was just able to shoot the ground there, clean it up. That was a really close last round. There was only 20 seconds left on the clock for Bus Crew, but the Germans, they played it kind of passive. They took their time, and it worked out for them in the end there. And they didn't just rush headlong into it without thinking. So good job by them. And so far, just the coordination from the Germans have been really on point, I think. There's really a lot to clean up things behind. But here we go, another mid.
Yeah, fast movements from Tobbs to get behind, but Crafty has also swapped out the sniper to play soldier this mid, but he's pretty much just playing the long-range game, even as a soldier, waiting on top of this China and cliffside to keep the pressure on. He's going to be rotating over. Martin is also wary of this. They are able to get onto the point here, the bus crew, holding on to things, but Crafty's going to be playing a little bit of a spawn camp game. Maybe catch out Tobbs, hit him up, and then draw some players back so the rest of his team can start pushing forward. Meanwhile, the Germans now taking advantage of that, moving across main, getting a lot of pressure onto this concrete, juggling the poor scout. Phelps going to get pistoled down by Shocky, no surprise there. And now Shocky is in position. He could be moving up there, but instead he's just going to back off here. Idolos dancing as best he can, grabs the health pack and gets the shot onto Alba. It's a full wipe, essentially, with only Jan alive. He will get taken down here very shortly.
Yeah, that was really crucial that they managed to get both the medic and the demo man here at the very end. So this is the classic forward hold position from the Germans coming out here. Kratos has the full Uber. There's actually a pyro, but he's alone, so he can't really break through. You usually want to have, you know, like 2 soldiers and a pyro. Yeah, also 260 health is a very beneficial thing to have as a pyro when you try to force your way through a choke with the air blast. But it looks like they're just going to go through the right side. It's stickied off. But oh my god, this soldier in the skybox survives almost. So far, hasn't really been worth it, but you know, they do have fast response.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. They are collapsing right now, top of this cliffside. The Martin will be backing out with the rest of the bus crew. They got to start working their way back in. But the soldiers have already set up once again over on the right side. They moved really quickly there, and Smear can just hold on to this little area here. He's got the sticky set up in 2 layers, even, and Crafty gonna put a little bit of pressure in main. Now the push comes in through choke. The Pyro's got the health. Alba's air blasting, trying to work their way in. We do see Phelps cuts across, goes in deep, manages to grab the frag onto Stefan. That will be working his way now with the rest of the team. They're starting to push in. They have the Uber to work with. No snipers to fear, as they're aware of. And now they're getting onto this point.
Yeah, they did manage to get out here, but there we go. Uber finally gets forced there. So this time around is going to be a superior Uber coming out from the bus crew. So let's see how the Germans deal with it. Look at they're just going to back off. They do manage to pick off Alba with a nice little pipe. So it's pretty even, and now they have a spawn advantage, so they can probably just do a dry push if they really want to do so. Let's see how they approach this.
are looking pretty smooth now. But you see Tobbs managed to sneak his way on top of the China. Will just barely be able to escape there with his life. Crafty on that sniper. He's getting the angles lined up, cutting off the escape route through concrete, but Tobbs just takes an arrow, starts working his way back into this connector. But you see pressure on the point now from all the Germans. They want to make sure this happens, and Poison clips his head on top of the little railway above the point. Will not be able to get any further than that. And Fishkoff has snuck his way into House, getting onto Martin here. A lot of pressure.
Oh.
Can't get the third rocket off, though. But Tobbs will get killed by Crafty here. He's also keeping a lot of pressure as a sniper. The point did get capped off by the Germans, but we're going to be seeing
the one down
from the bus crew.
Yeah, the one down, and now they have worse spawn times. So they might just won't be able to hold on here. Let's see. They could get muscled out, and it looks like that's very much what the bus crew are trying to do. They have a soldier in there. It's actually going to be an Uber exchange to fight for this point. And Alba will go down to Crafty, who's gone sniper. But now the Germans have backed off once again. It looks like they're basically going to cede this point and then come in as a team. But they don't quite have the team there with them. But there we go. Finally, they do come in. So again, this patient play from the Germans just paying off so well for them. And they just played extremely well.
Yeah, this is going to work out for the Germans overall. They've been keeping the time in their favor, been in the lead essentially this entire match, this round particularly. Now starting to work their way. We do see the bus crew coming in through the cliffside. A lot of soldiers and scouts flying through, taking down the players over on the concrete. Crafty's not in a very good position to do any sniping here. It's kind of more pressured because he's joining the combo. Kratos, very low on health, is going to jump onto the cliff, but that will not stop Crafty from hitting the shots, even though he's right next to his players. Basically taking all the same spam as them. The cap did go off for the bus crew, but it's not going to last for long because Crafty's already initiated it once again. Idalos also keeping the pressure up. It's not looking good for the bus crew. They can't maintain their presence, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the bus crew, it just seems like they reach this red line, and then as soon as they cross it, they just get focus fired really effectively, and then they just lose a few too many players, and then they have to retreat, and then they lose the point. So it's just a very good focus fire so far from the Germans, and now they're just holding on to this point. You can see they're pretty much allowing them to just walk in here as far as they want, but then once they cross that red line, they're in trouble, but they have to do it because of the time now.
Yeah, Uber's getting popped off right now. Martin disconnected from everyone. Gonna flash off just to keep the time running on the clock. They will be able to keep the pressure up. Nice bomb from Poison, gonna get the frag on Stefan. Meanwhile, the scouts are also keeping up the action. Phelps gonna grab Idalos and push some players back. The cap will go to them, but Crafty is still on that sniper. Alba trying to duck. He does manage to dip away for just a moment. He will survive, and now it's not gonna be too much longer. Crafty going down is good. It's not gonna be too much longer before we see this push potentially coming out without even Ubers.
Yeah, they might just play it slow. Again, just wait for the Ubers, play around this sniper, and just don't even care that there's only 1 minute left. They could just take it really slow. Chucky will put a ton of time onto the point here, though, but they're getting punished pretty heavily. So this could all end wrong. Oh, that's a huge pick. Alba taking down Kratos. That's the one thing that the Germans didn't want to happen. So this is a huge opportunity for the bus crew to hold on to them.
Oh man, Smear was right on top of the medic there. He had the sticky lined up, he had the Iron Bomber out, but thankfully he got dispatched with very quickly and could not get that detonation off. Martin might have dropped there, almost assuredly. So now the Germans are in a bit of a pickle here. They were feeling so groovy up until this moment, and now they got to push without Ubers. There's only 30 seconds left. They could wait for the Uber and do the exchange then, but it's not going to work out. They said they're going to try and play this slower aggression where they're going to be on the point, getting a little bit of pressure on. Martin got juggled very high by that sticky and is able to, that's going to slow down their Uber aggression here. And now hopefully the Germans can start working their way in, even though they've just lost Crafty. And
oh yeah. The Germans, they play that really well, but now that they walk in here, they're just entering the meat grinder and just getting completely picked apart. So the bus crew really turning it around there. I don't know, I can't remember which scout actually took out Kratos there, but that was probably the round-ending pick.
Alba.
Oh, Alba. Yeah, so Alba is the hero that gets that pick, and that just allowed them to get that massive Uber advantage. The Germans got rid of the Uber really well, but then when they came back in, everyone else was just so healthy that they just got completely destroyed. So, yeah,
that's the power of fighting when people aren't looking at you. And right now, Tobbs trying to make his way around. Didn't even get noticed, essentially. Going to get good damage onto Stefan, who's very low. Both soldiers need to pressure. It's going to be Smear getting taken down. He did manage to get the pipe onto Martin, but Phelps will grab that frag, and with no man and a lot of weak players, it's looking grim for the the Germans, but they're still surviving. 2 HP on Fishkoff. One soldier tries to come in. Idalos snatches him from the sky and takes him down. There was such bad help on the Germans, but somehow they survived.
Yeah, they needed like one spy to just like sit there, look at everyone's health, and just give everyone one pistol shot, right? Like that's that was a very close fight there. It could have gone either way, but the Germans they did a really good job of just staying alive and focusing fire and just dancing around and making sure that they survived it. And now they've all been arrowed up. They have a good Uber advantage, and look like there's going to be a soldier suicide in here. What nice first rocket, but what a surf from Kratos.
That was very much a propelled person, but Poison will also fall in pursuit of the medic.
Yeah, Kratos can into space. That was like an impressive amount of air he got off of just one rocket. It's pretty cool to see. But now it's going to be a forward hold for the Germans here. But it's even Ubers, so let's see how this works.
It's actually coming in mostly from main, and it's actually a little bit of a wraparound from Tobbs, who almost managed to land before the action initiated. There's the shot! How could you... There it is, follow-up. He missed the first air shot, but Idalos will get taken down by Poison. But he's pretty much the only person alive here. So much damage done, and now it's just Martin who's back at his spawn, waiting for the respawners. That was just a very bizarre forcing their way through, and it didn't even net anything valuable outside of Idalos.
Yeah, they maintained the Uber though, so Martin's just not wanting to pop there, and looks like that could kind of pay off here. So now they make it through thanks to the Pyro just air blasting everything and then powering through there. So they do still have the full Uber, so even Uber's still, and it just took a little extra time to actually make it out of here. But now it's just getting to cross mid and get some time on the point. Let's see how they do it. We're going to send a soldier behind first and then take it from there, I guess.
Poison just waddling across the point. Alba playing a little bit of a defensive Pyro, trying to reflect all these things back. He's going to take the Uber, and that's actually going to be really bad for the Germans because Alba on Pyro completely shuts out the Zuber. Nothing else needs to happen. They're going to wait for their respawns. Actually, they didn't even wait for Tobbs or stall the time. They got the cap, and now they're going to lose it instantly. So Tobbs is going to suffer a full spawn wave. Thankfully, though, he gets the magic spawn wave timer because it was just outside of the wave. Right now, Alba grabbing that frag onto Fishkoff. This is expected. We didn't get to talk about it during the pregame, but Pyro very strong at this point in time. Able to get an easy frag onto poor little Fishkoff.
Yeah, the detonator has so far been absolutely crazy on this map. Like, just the way the art works, it's just perfect for the detonator. I don't think we saw the detonator right here, but oh my god, Kratos gets taken down again. Phelps, along with the soldier, just goes in there and just takes down the medic, and the boss crew will make it in here. There's going to be a soldier onto the medic. Can he get Martin? No, Martin's dancing around. Does Sink Scout? Poison cleans up.
Now, as great as that is, you know, wiping the enemy team, they wiped the enemy team before finishing the cap, so it's probably not going to make that big of an impact, those little 10-15 seconds, but in a game where time matters just that much, we can get to double overtime. That could be a factor later on as the Germans start working their way in through main here. Might even be able to force their way out and not have to worry about this forward hold whatsoever. Smear coming in really hot, throws a couple pipes, but doesn't connect anything, and it's a really good defensive hold so far from the bus crew. But can Fishkoff do anything here? He does manage to sneak onto Martin. Martin solo on health. Oh, he looked away from the rocket and it splashed. Oh.
That's some balls of steel. That rocket I thought was just like heading straight for him, but it just barely dips out of the way and somehow dodges the splash. Balls of steel on that man. Martin just holding on to the Uber, milking it like a prize cow, and just not giving it up for free.
That was. Ooh. I have to go to the doctor after this one because holy crap, that was excruciatingly painful to experience. Right now, the Germans now, amidst the wake of their failed attempt to force Martin, will be coming in, getting the force finally this time around. Crafty now waiting behind the back line, is going to land on top of Poison, get some good damage there. Not going to get, finally with a little bit of a mini air shot, going to be able to get down, but Alba will retaliate on the Crafty. The force is coming back in, but the
Kratos
pipes,
again just eats the random pipe, and now it's just going to basically be a suicide wave. Martin once again is going to dance around and again just dodges everything, and his team is doing a good job of just cleaning up before they can get off the last shot on Martin there. So Jan just getting those crucial pipes on it. Oh, Martin again hits another scout in his face, but they're dancing around it perfectly, not even taking any damage. So just Kratos, I don't think he likes this Iron Bomber coming out from John, that's for sure.
We'll see how things work out for them. Maybe Jan will keep the pressure up with that Iron Bomber spam, but he's not quite in a position to get it over the top of the cliff. If he had pipes, normal pipes, maybe, but that's the trade-off. We're going to be seeing now pressure onto the point from the Germans. Stefan getting melted by Jan. And the follow-up bomb from Crafty will grab Phelps. And Martin is just leaning right on top of it. Oh, if Crafty just timed that a little bit better, he could have gotten a little bit of early rocket. And there it is. Poison has Crafty's number, takes him down with the air shot. And what looks like a very hard hold for like a very tall mountain to climb has now become very possible. They've now exceeded the time left of the Germans, and now there's only 15 seconds on the clock. The bus crew might be able to pull ahead right here.
Yeah, Martin just manages to barely get the Uber. However, it will leave him at an Uber disadvantage now. You know, unless Kratos dies to a random pipe, he's going to get this Uber, and then they can use that to move forward and get some time on the point. However, it will not be over. It will still be 22 seconds. Here we go. The Uber has been forced, and it looks like they're going to get Alba. Alba's not able to get out. And another scout is very close to dying as well. Yeah, there we go. So that's Phelps down. And Martin gets taken down as well. Fiskop jumps in perfectly. Just times it to perfection and takes down the medic. And now it's the Germans all of a sudden. It looks like they are poised to just take this round. They just need to fend off one big respawn wave, and then they will be up 2-1.
Time is ticking away. It's overtime. Tobbs sacrifices his life. Alba will also fall shortly after. It's Phelps and Martin surfing around. They don't have enough health to survive, and against it, we're seeing an interesting shift of talent here. It's first it was the Germans winning, then it was the bus crew winning, and now we're in a double overtime with the Germans pulling ahead. Maybe we'll get an even closer match going into the next round if the pattern continues.
Yeah, and also, you know, you're an American, so I guess I should point out that it's first to 3.
Yes, 3.
Not 4. So this could potentially be the last round here. As you see immediately Crafty just jumping in there and get taken down very quickly there, as the Germans are just all surging across the point, doing their best to just be as aggressive as possible. And they have actually just pushed everyone back and taken everyone down. It's just a matter of can Phelps and Martin make it back to spawn, and they can indeed. So a great mid here from the Germans, just very aggressive play.
Yeah, the Germans holding on to the point now, taking their early lead. They've got Crafty on Sniper. This is where they were comfortable last couple of rounds, and I guarantee you this is where they're going to be comfortable this round, because they seem to have only lost the rounds where they had Crafty on Sniper, or at least for the first time that post crew won. But Alba is up and did get body shot with a fully charged scope from Crafty, and now it's going to be the ace up their sleeve has just fallen out, and now they're looking at a very hard push here. Not really going to be able to get any further than just their cliffside.
Yeah, I just want to point out, it seems like Crafty is almost more than anyone able to only kill Alba on Sniper. Like, he just always kills Alba on Sniper. It's happened so many times, like 4 or 5 times now. Just taking down Alba. Just wait for him to respawn and kill him again. But yeah, it's not the most important part. Here we go.
Oh, there was the force on a Martin. Martin tried to duck in fear of Crafty, and Crafty got the shot onto Idolos. Or not, excuse me, on Idolos. Alba was the one who got the shot onto Idolos. So we do see the bus crew have managed to take control of this point and even get the cap right before the Uber can stop it. And now they've just popped an Uber for practically nothing, and there is no bus crew around. They're going to start capping, but it's not going to last for very long because they're pushing right back in. Smear getting juggled a little bit there. Not going to get punished, though, but the pressure is still on and very strong. This first soldier goes down. That's Poison. Getting taken out by Fishkoff. We do see Tobbs playing that connector very defensively. And currently, the bus crew still hold the point, but we do see the Germans are ready to move their way in. Fishkoff initiating, and the headshot connects on Alba right before Fishkoff can land on him with his rockets. So it's looking really good for the Germans to push in. They finish the cap, and they've got the forward presence. This is a very strong-looking team right now.
Added to the count of Crafty killing Alba on Sniper. Just another time, once again, it has happened. But yeah, that was it was a really good V-push in there by the bus crew, but then just send in like a single soldier a little bit too far across that red line, and then he got taken down, and then the rest of his team was just not able to counter the V-push there. So it was great play by the Germans, but now here comes Uber. Martin's always going to have his... Oh no, he died like 99, or did he even drop? I'm not sure. But that was crucial. So close.
Yeah, I'm just hovering over this sad little medigun with the beautiful blue and yellow flashlights and Christmas lights going on, and it's just slowly decaying. It's a very sad sound to hear. Now they're going to be pushing in with technically even Ubers. They don't have the Uber to work with, but they're going to be pushing their way as hard as they can. Fishkoff going to go take it down, but the shot is immediately retaliated. Crafty taking down Phelps there. The cap will go off to the bus crew, but for how long? Crafty surfing away, can't land on the China again, and will crater. So this is an advantage for the Bus Crew. They might be able to hold on to this defensively.
Yeah, the repush is sure to come in here. No, if nothing else, just to better respawn times here for the Germans will make it so that they can basically lemming style this push. They just lose a player here and there, but as long as they trade evenly, they will be at an advantage. But Smear goes down. That's the demo man down. Idealist as well. So now it's just going to be a full retreat. There's still a single soldier behind. Gets double teamed by the scouts. So that was a great hold here by the Bus Crew. And they do have a slight Uber disadvantage, but I feel like the Germans will not be able to push in time to actually use it. So this worked out really well for the Bus Crew, and there we go. The Uber have been built completely.
But Crafty is lining it up. Martin knows better than to stay in the sight lines, knows that even his shoulder, just peeking over the top of this viaduct hill, is a little bit too risky, so he's holding really back, but that's going to open up the door for bombers to come in, even though Crafty is one less bomber for them. This is where Fishkopf needs to be coming in, and he is going to go hot right around the corner while the Zuber exchange is happening over on the left side of the point here. The Germans have managed to keep the presence up, and Martin going to get a little bit of pressure here from the Demo Man as well, and the follow-up bomb from Fishkopf will pull some players back, but he did not get anything else other than losing his life. Jan gets taken down, though, by Shocky, who pushed forward. And there's the shot onto Alba as well. Crafty doing so much work. He doesn't need...
So many times.
Yeah, forget the round scores. We don't care about it if it's 2-1 or not. Like, we're currently on a 3-0 for Crafty versus Alba.
Oh, you're gonna have to make that way bigger. way bigger. It's like on 5-6 or something. But here come the big jump in onto Crafty. Take down that sniper. You can do it, boys. There we go.
Finally.
I got him. The Spear did get Alpha anyway, and Poison has gone down as well. And this is slightly in favor of the Germans. They're not really close to the point, but I think they will time it so they get back in there. Yeah, I do. Just spearhead the charge, get in there. Now it's just on 0 time for the Germans. So the Bus Crew, they do have some time on the point, but they need to just get on it ASAP and fight this out. Otherwise, they will lose this round.
Stop the point and force the Uber up as well. Counter Uber comes out from Martin, who's a little bit of disconnect, and there he does. He manages to reconnect with Alba, who's walking into Smear, but Smear juggles him hard, and then the cleanup from Idolos will be able to take down Alba, and now it's looking really desperate now. The Germans are pushing forward, stopping all opposition. It's a nice little frag coming out from Jan. He's going to take down Smear, and that's a huge thing for this point, but Crafty is lined up around the corner trying to take some shots. Oh, Jan is so strong. He gets taken down by Kratos, the medic. And there it is, the taunt, or not, excuse me, the taunt, it's just the voice line, and Alba comes in hot. Crafty gets taken down, it's not over, there's a minute left, and they've just managed to scrape their way.
To get better spawns. Yeah, that's actually really smart, because the time is irrelevant, basically. Still,
exactly.
It's on 0, yeah.
Exactly, they've limped their way into holding on to this point, but the finish line is still very far away. And right now we do see a little bit of a build-up from Germans. They're working their way through main. No forward hold to speak of from the Bus Crew, but they do have Poison perched atop the cliff, calling things out for his team, and the push is now coming in.
There we go. It's about 1 minute that the Germans have, but any kind of pressure will just force everyone to go forward, because the Bus Crew, if they lose this point at any time, they will just lose the match instantly. And both soldiers have gone forward, and Martin has gone down as well. Oh, Kratos will go down as well, so no heals for either team, but it's only 1 up. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be it. GG's have been called. 3-1 in favor of the Germans, or wer das liest is doof, as they are properly named. It means he who reads this is stupid, but it says nothing about saying it out loud, so we're good.
Yeah, we try our hardest here, but to be a good speaker, you need to know the language for that kind of a name. And I'm sorry, I just can't get through the V and the W transfixion. I don't know where it happens, so I just sound weird. Or should I say veered?
Yeah, it's totaler Vietman.
No idea what you just called me.
I wasn't talking about you.
That's the joke, Peter. Moving on to these logs here, we do see at the top of the board, pretty much all the frags were in favor of the Germans. You know, 24, 23, 21, 20 across all their major players. While poor Jan really down on couldn't break that double-digit marker for the kills, and Poison also a little bit lower than the rest of his team.
Yeah, Jan.
Although when you look at damage, though, Jan was not far away at all. He was 375, just shy of Smear's 378 DPM. It's very respectable.
Yeah, so it's not exactly a bad game. He just didn't get any kills, but he had quite a
Yeah.
lot of assists. So
Yeah,
you know,
no. Jan did fine. Jan did fine. But Smear was really putting in the work, as we can denote from his frags. He was a one-man wrecking ball, is the term.
yeah, I am desperately trying to figure out here how many times Crafty killed Alba, but I guess I can't really see that.
This is not a
No.
stat line beater, and I was actually thinking
No.
about it as you mentioned it. Is maybe they're in the future
Oh, there we
we
go.
could find
Yeah.
some way. Whoop.
Thank you. Hamaham's on point there. Look at that, +5. It's 8-3. It doesn't quite say, you know, sniper specifically, but I'm just going to go ahead and jump to conclusions and say that he was +5 on sniper alone. He was just 5-0, just killing Alpha on sniper.
I only remember like 3 or 4 shots, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Peter. Maybe it was. I mean, there was definitely a domineering performance from Crafty on sniper, especially where Alba was concerned.
Yeah, like it's not like there's video evidence to prove me wrong or anything. So
I
cool.
remember a headshot on Alba. I remember a headshot on Alba when he was a scout, but sniper v sniper, it was like maybe 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah, but then we see Smear getting a lot of heals pumped into him, and then Shocky getting quite a bit of heals as well. Very similar on the other side as well. Slightly less heals onto John, but then Phelps also being the pocket scout. So sort of the same distribution, just slightly different numbers on both teams. And 0 drops. This is pretty impressive with the amount of sniper that was played. So Martin not standing in the sniper sidelines, it would seem. Good on him.
It's also interesting that you mentioned that because these stat lines say there were 0 drops and 0 deaths at the almost Uber range. So that one instance where it was like really close, I remember you saying it, where the medic died just before getting it. Maybe it wasn't quite 99, but either way, a tragedy whenever a medic breaks 90% and dies. It's the biggest heartbreak of our generation.
I'm going to go with the stats lie. That was really vivid.
The stats lie!
Stats lie, man.
Peter is not in need of glasses, or is getting his head checked. He knows what he saw. Boy.
Yeah,
homeboy.
Yeah, exactly.
Word to your mother.
And this is pretty interesting. Basically, the only thing this stat really tells you is how much soldiers jump behind on this map. And I guess it's interesting that Veda's liest doof has more on the... I guess that was the forward holds, actually, now that I think about it. Because I was going to say, like, the boss crew had 2 soldiers basically the entire time. They jumped behind a lot. But yeah, the forward holds for Veda's liest doof was probably a big reason why they have some more time onto the enemy side of the point. But yeah, it's pretty centralized on Viaduct in general.
Yeah, no, all throughout the map, players were getting in real fast, using that side wall above the connector to make their way across to China, to the catwalk, whatever it's called, by the house. That was happening almost every single exchange I could think of. There was rarely a soldier not getting behind. So that would account for most, if not all, of those frags we see going on there, with the soldiers getting very active and aggressive.
Yeah, I suppose also now is probably 20 minutes too late, but also we should mention that Crafty has stepped in instead of Clip.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah, this is probably
just a little fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. So that's why they've also switched to the English comm. So you know they both have Smear, who's Swedish, and now they also have Crafty, who's English. And Crafty is he played Scout in previous seasons, so it's a bit weird that he's on Soldier. But I guess that's why he just preferred to play on Sniper as much as possible. Maybe he feels more
because the only games of Crafty I've seen were I think I casted last week. I can't remember, but he was playing Soldier as a merc for a different team at that time. It might have been for well, I don't remember. Smear. I like to alternate between Smear and Smear, just because.
Yeah, inconsistency.
I remember seeing Crafty on Soldier for whatever team he was working for. So I only know him as a Smear at this time. And
all right.
I've been pleased with it overall.
Yeah, it could be just he switched it up. He changed his mind. He likes Soldier more now. He's just gonna forge ahead with on that class. It's usually the other way around in my experience. Is people go playing Soldier, get really frustrated with Scout, to switch to Scout, and then they crush. We saw like Tiger did that. We've seen a bunch of different examples of people just switching to Scout. AMS has done it. Yeah, that seems more normal. It's kind of gone the other way around, which is interesting. But I'm not sure how permanent this crafty move is instead of clip. I think he played for them the last time as well in the last match. So maybe it's a permanent switch up, or maybe clip is not available these last 2 weeks or something, or this last week. So that would maybe be a question for the interviews, because I'm a little bit out of the loop.
Yeah. So we're going into Badlands as our second map. In case anyone out there is not aware, this is also not just Badlands, but it's Prolands. So as far as I'm aware, it's the most updated version, with the intention of fixing spawn wave timers for last. Because if you own second, if you own the Spire, apparently it's really easy for you to get back to Spire once you've owned Spire. And so Proland seeks to fix that. But on top of some other fixes I'm not aware of.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of smaller issues, on middle, how the train tracks will just eat rockets, as if they're just the hungriest things. Like that has been removed, I hope. And then the train tracks, you used to be able to shoot rockets like in between them and get them stuck there and rocket bug on them really hard. You could do the same in house. A lot of those things have been sorted out. And Spire also famously has the worst clipping in the game, basically. And then there's also like some chokes on last, where like the doorways have been made bigger. I think the balcony is slightly changed just to be more spacious. Just small things like that has been changed around, but overall that doesn't really have much of an effect on gameplay. It's mostly that I think the spawn time waves, and then also last is still pretty slow to cap, so it's very difficult to actually cap it out, which is why people tend to not like Badlands so much these days, is because it's difficult to cap and it was difficult to push out, but hopefully it's easier to push out now. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Peter, you can call yourself a map master. Would you say so, given your involvement with all these different map related things, like making map building tournaments?
Yeah, I'm
promoting
running
map diversity in pugs and things like that.
Yeah, that's I really truly believe that I like TF2, but we need some fresh blood every once in a while. Both new players, but we also need new maps, just to change up the meta a little bit. You need to find new spots, you need to find new cool tricks to do, like just to slightly change the way you play the game. And getting new maps in there is really important. So I'm currently actually running a Meet Your Map tournament, which is a map making tournament. You can find it at tf2maps.net. And the winner of that tournament will get full 130 euros prize for making the best map. And number 2 and number 3 will get, I think, 35 or 45, something like that. I can't even remember. But basically money. You can get money from making maps.
A very foreign concept for anyone who doesn't get adopted by Valve's official map thingy, where they finally get their maps in the rotation and Valve turns it and adjusts it to make it, its own little official map. That's the usual. It used to be the only way you could get money for making maps, but now Beater here is providing it's how long has it been running now? Because I remember the release date of this tournament, this map making thing. Like, when did this first come up?
It was before the season started. I can't quite remember when I did it, because I just kind of thought, okay, I should just publish this as soon as possible, so they had as much time as possible to make a map. But the deadline is March 16th, which is this Friday. So, if you're not already making a map, you're probably going to struggle. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm going to be honest. I don't think anyone can make a map in 3 days and it'd be perfect. But that could be your challenge. The 72-hour challenge. If you don't have work or anything, you could just coop up in your room for like 16 hours a day and just really hammer one out. You see what I did there?
Yeah. Oh. Sneaky. I like it. And of course, I'm gonna try to hold some events. The whole idea is that I'm gonna pick 3 maps, the 3 best maps, and then we're gonna have like a big tournament with some money prizes as well, so people actually want to play it. And then then the players can vote on their favorite map, and then the favorite map will get the prize money, and of course the winner of the tournament will also get some prize money. So money for everyone, and hopefully we get some new good maps into the map pool as well. that's the dream at least. So we can get rid of some of the older maps that people no longer enjoy. Will we actually see Badlands getting removed from the map pool? It sounds like heresy to me, but you never know.
Yeah, I've currently come across an issue for connecting to our server again, and it's been stuck at the sending client info stage for a while now, Beaters. So not sure if you're also receiving this issue, but
yeah, we're all stuck.
Hopefully we can find something to do here.
Oh
it's
boy.
to be expected they might have already started the match.
All right.
Meanwhile,
Well,
we're left here with no access to the server.
who say you'll never run away. They think that love is a game and that we've gone insane. But what we have is what one spends a lifetime searching for. Just with you I feel amazing, never felt before. But would I be so ashamed from love with fighting for? I'm standing right at the gates, walking your stairway to heaven. Baby, I'm in love and I can't get enough. I'm yours truly, 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 baby, truly. Baby, I'm in love. Can you feel the rush? I'm yours truly, 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 baby, truly. Walking on ice, paper thin, skating on the surface of what might have been. Do you wanna be set free? Voices in the sound of the cracks all singing to me. Do you wanna be set free? If you come back looking for me, keep your eyes off the ground. Let me hear you take off for a drive. If you come back looking for me, if you come back looking for me, if you come sound of the cracks all singing to me. Do you wanna be set free?
All right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. The STV just reflexively decided to stop working, and you know, these teams, they didn't realize everything was working fine on their end. So we jumped in there, stopped them in their tracks, and just had them go through it. So they're gonna restart this, and the situation is that it's 0-0, and I think we have the Germans. No, it's the bus crew. They're holding middle, and both teams have even Ubers. So that's where we're at. So I think we can just decide we didn't really miss anything. But yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But we're back, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, currently I'm actually in the server, and that's slowed the players down because apparently I had the wrong STV info. So I've connected to the wrong thing in the same game, and we've got a sniper playing defensively from the cliff. It's Alba, just getting shots lined up. Hopefully I can get the actual STV, the proper STV. So
yeah, it's the lowest one on board.
I see it.
So otherwise you're going to be like 1.5 minutes ahead. That would be some real sport.
This is also true. I'm actually...
Yeah, so they're about to go live right now. So I think what we're going to see is...
I already saw the mid, and the mid failed.
So when you say the mid failed, do you mean they just went to mid and then one team didn't
I'm
go there?
gonna do some spooky stuff right now, and I'm gonna predict everything happening at this mid. Smear's gonna walk onto the point. Blue is not gonna push at all.
Alright. Yeah, that sounds about right. Other than, I thought bus crew had middle. I was wrong, I guess, because it was the Germans that held it. So, yeah. And both teams, they were on about 60 Uber. So, yeah. That was the situation when we paused the game. So yeah, they're just kind of talked. Clip. Oh, Clip is actually here. All right. So Crafty is out of the game and Clip is back in.
And that would explain why Alba's on sniper, because he has nothing to fear now as he's lined up another shot, which hasn't currently connected with everything. All the players are playing very passively behind that train, not getting any further than that. This is about the point where I left, so I officially no longer know what's about to happen in the future. Beater, I have to watch like everyone else now.
Yeah, we see Alba has just lined up here. Clip went in there and got an unnecessary death for his fantasy stats, but other than that, we're good. And so he's now just going to be holding house. Actually, that's Fishcop. So this is just your standard Badlands stalemate on middle, made a little bit more severe, and because the flow was killed because of the pause here. But other than that, it's all looking very standard. We can see Kratos just crouching behind the train tracks here, or behind the train cart, just so that he can't be sniping. Alba's just getting so much room, but at the same time, they're just not showing their faces. So just standard stuff, and looks like Alba's going to rotate around, maybe get a sneaky little pick from Valley.
Yeah, Poison's very close with Fishkoff. They're going to battle it out. Meanwhile, we do see what is Alba doing. No, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. He's got the angle lined up.
Oh no!
Standing for Kratos down.
Oh!
Doesn't get killed, and we do see actually a little bit of surf action. Couldn't quite get away. Clip will not allow any survivors and takes down Alba. So that angle was set up. Kratos was practically offering his body to Alba, and he will not get it. Now we have the force coming in. A very strong force from Clip, getting in there deep, juggling Martin up, and now it's looking bad because the rest of the bus crew can't get any further than the choke, really. They will grab Fishkoff over on the house, and that might be the numbers game they need, but they still got to worry about this Uber that Kratos is holding on to and is ready to use at any moment.
Yeah, we see Poison going in pretty aggressively. He gets really banged up, and the rest of his team just doesn't seem willing to really follow him in there. So we're going to be left with another stalemate. And Alba is now on scout. So, you know, this is going to be a bit weird. But he can always switch. He might just go in here from Valley. Hope they don't spot him. I don't know if they have at all. This is interesting. So Alba is now behind, and you see the Germans actually pushing into a choke, while the rest of Boss Crew are just in trash area right now, testing Spire.
Here it is, Alba. No, Analyst saw it. He's ready for it. Takes the first shot. Some extra support coming out from Clip there, and they will be able to take down Poison. Over here in the main area, Alba, stuck behind, is going to be a detriment to his team now. He's got to find his way over through Diag to the back spawn, and he will manage to pull that off. Or actually, no, even worse, he's going to be going in through lobby to get back to last, and he will sneak right into the face of Clip, but he will get out. Just barely. He's going to sort himself up and sort things out with his team.
Yeah, so now we have another even Ubers, but the Germans have gained 2 points, and as you can see, the doorways are a little bit bigger. You know, you used to be able to have like a sticky trap over the door that was basically impossible to see. That's not no longer the case.
Wow, yeah, this is weird to watch. But there we do see a double sack at the same time, very nicely coordinated from Phelps, the sniper, to take down Clip, while Stefan walked his way right through a little sticky trap there. Now we're going to be seeing a little bit of action here coming in through the lobby. They're playing it very careful. They are very wary of a back cap. But Poison, being the only one in the forward area, now being met up with Phelps, as well as Jan jumping in. It's going to be a kind of a weird exchange going on right now. To commit, they could have actually stopped a couple of the players on the point, and actually Einloss is going to get taken down from being a little overextended. The Germans playing very patiently and safely in their own mid now.
That was extremely weird by Ideal. I don't know why he was that far forward. That just looked so weird to me. Not sure what he was trying to gain there, but we actually see Alba trying to sneak his way in behind, but he gets caught out by Clip and Shocky, and everyone else just went completely overwhelmed here by Boss Crew when they moved in. So now Martin's going to try not to drop. Oh my god, this is so tense for him. And Jan has gone down as well. Martin, can he hold on to his Uber while he goes to last? He's alone now, being chased down by a scout, and he's very weak, and he's going to have to pop alone. The saddest feeling in the entire world if you're a medic main.
Oh man, can't have that drop step though, so respect for that.
Yeah, like make sure he shouldn't have popped it there. But, oh no, he should have popped it there. Like,
yeah,
proper,
because now the push is coming to last,
bad.
And Kratos is going to cap it off.
Yeah, that was just such a terrible exchange right there. They tried to get out, but people just kept getting picked off, and then Mod was just left alone, having to use on nothing. And then the massive Uber advantage just came in here with the main advantage as well. It's gonna make it 1-0 in favor of the Germans with 17.5 minutes left to go. So still plenty of time to go. But let's see what happens on the middle, because we haven't seen a proper mid yet.
Yeah, now we've got the proper mid. Coming in through Valley is going to be most of the Bus Crew. Tops taking a little bit of a flight path across the mid, scoping things out. Gonna get taken down though on the back lines through the house. Kratos gets taken down by Alba, who made his way in through the house, and will get taken down by Smear's pipes. It is one player alive, and that's Jan, who's gonna be getting killed here very shortly as the pistol, the Winger, with its incredibly powerful sounding clip, just takes him down.
Yeah, the sound design is on point with that gun. It's not actually that powerful, but it just sounds amazing.
It lost its damage effects?
Hey, it does a little bit more damage, right? But
yeah, it was right. It sounds powerful. Because it is powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
Damage bonus. I see it. Damage bonus.
It's kind of like the upper hand, right? It just sounds like it does a million damage, but it just does 50.
It definitely does. Much more damage. It's confirmed. But either way, got not an even Uber situation. This is a 8-second advantage. This is, I haven't coined this phrase, and I'm just going to coin it for you guys right now. This is the, oh wait, it's crits. Never mind. I take it back. I was like going to say, this is the, we have 8 seconds, we have to use right as we get it, but instead it's going to be a crits creep coming in from lower, presumably with Smear. They're getting lined up, buffed out, clip on the point. The stickies, this is what I want to see. The stickies come now onto the point, the cap will go off. They get the Uber off though, and we'll be able to survive some of their players. And oh my goodness, he's still up there, jumping in and out of the tube. We'll be able to survive, and now it's going to be coming onto the point. It's Stefan! He gets taken down by Poison there. Not enough pressure left. Smear was taken down, so they don't have enough force to, you know, bully that point with explosive damage. So the Bus Crew hold on.
Yeah, now they're left on that crit streak, and now they, you know, the Bus Crew, they know about the crit streak, and that makes it a lot easier to counter. There's actually going to be Clip contesting the spy. He gets air shot. Now he's just on the low gun, probably going to die. Actually gets arrowed. Nice arrow there. It's going to save Clip. But contesting Spire is a pipe dream. That's for sure.
Oh, Fishkoff. Alba is so upset. He was pistoling him down so low. Shocky also getting behind. Does get cleaned up by Phelps. Very nicely done. That's going to be the frag they need to initiate. And Tobbs grabbing Fishkoff. He will trade his life for it, but it's good. But actually, Kratos is rotating in with his soldier, and he's gonna get caught out. If he makes this escape, magic. He might.
Oh.
He might. It's a distraction play. He's gonna rotate in. Oh, but he ges called out. Won't be able to surf away from that rocket. Does a little bit too much damage, and Poison will grab the frag. And with such a late death, this is looking like the Bus Crew have finally found a foothold, work their way into this match.
Yeah.
Maybe grab
when you're to go for those crazy escapes, like there's such a massive difference, right? Because you either completely save the round for your team, or you just die super late. Like they're about to get pushed on, and the Kratos is not up yet, so there's not even any buffs. No, and they're gonna be facing an Uber and a bunch of buff players. So this is just such a bad situation. Here we go. Here again comes Uber.
Yeah, the Uber comes in hot and ready, takes down the Sentry. The lamp is clippable now. Players can stand on it, so we do see a little bit of action from Clip there, even coming down in from the lamp, the crow's nest, as it were. And it's been a weird exchange. Somehow every player has died while I was talking about things that didn't matter.
That was so. It was just a terrible thing. Kratos died late, no buffs, and then they just perfectly defended, losing no one. So that's some TF2 logic for you. But yeah, they ran into a sentry gun. They didn't quite deal with it fast enough, and then they didn't rotate out properly, and then they just they ended up in the same spot, taking the same spam, and then they just didn't get out. And they got spammed to death. So yeah, that's how badly things can go if you don't spread out properly and make sure you do some right damage. There's a single soldier hiding here. Nice force from Tops.
Oh, and he might even escape. Oh, Poison did so much damage to Shocky. Now they're going to get rushed in through this lobby. This might be a little bit of an overcommit here, because now we got Jan going to get taken down there. No fear from Smear. He will take him down with the pipes, and they're going to be just bum rushing this last. Don't have to worry about anything. They're cutting off the stickies. Very nicely done. Fishkop getting time on the point. The scouts will work their way in, but Smear disconnected with the rest of it. Couldn't get any extra damage on, but now the scouts are going to get on, and it's all theirs. There it is. Easy cap, and what a last-to-last exchange. We've rarely seen that happen in a casual early of the match kind of situation where they just take it from last to last with literally no effort.
Yeah, that was the heartbreaker round, like the definition of it almost, where you just go from one last to another. And they made it look easy for sure, and then Smear just did the oldest trick in the book, which is just put some stickies on the point, run onto the point. They have to run onto the point, and then he detonated. Good job.
And now he's detonating some sticks of his own, grabbing a couple little bits of damage onto Martin here, but he's got enough protective forces here. Fishcop bombs in vain, really. Gonna get taken down there, but Jan was taken down by Clip, so it looks like the Germans are gonna hold on to this and manage to push forward here. Start making their way in through the choke point. They have no sticks to fear, and we're gonna be seeing an easy cap from Spire. Maybe a little bit of pressure from Bats.
Contest it from the balcony, but it's already being shot down by Smear, so yeah, it's just not quite able to rotate in time. But I don't know. I don't think they made any mistakes there just getting out. But Fishkov on both of these middles so far that we've seen, he's just jumped onto the balcony and just done a ton of damage and just picked off people as they retreat into house. So they really need to deal with that, because it is very possible to deal with that. It's like my favorite mid, just jump onto the enemy balcony. But yeah, so far it's definitely working out for Fishkov. Let's see, we have a Pyro who's very aggressive up top here. So
Jan actually picks off Shocky. Not sure where that sticky trap was, but that will slow, really call a full retreat from the Germans. We do see Alba on the battlements, getting a little bit of pressure onto Fishkop, who's just poking his head around the crates and taking shots when he can. Fishkop throwing some scorch shots, not even detonators. And the spam from Fishkop, who's just been sitting in the same spot, manages to pick off Alba, the Pyro. That's just embarrassing, honestly. Not a very good presence of mind from Alba, really.
Yeah, Poison was actually behind, but then he decided not to go for it. That's pretty interesting. He just played conservatively, went back to the forward spot, and then he didn't even hide in there. He just back spawned immediately. And Shocky, he had a good opportunity here to go sniper, but decided not to. Sorry, I was coughing. As now they have to figure out some other way to get the force out of the enemy medic, right? And they actually pick off Alba, so that's a good start as the Pyro overextends.
Yeah, right now we do see the Germans are making their way to the lower right, and Tops is very uncautiously walked forward to try and see what's happening, and now they've decided to rotate out. Lower right is not the play for the Germans. They're just going to come in through main, coming right through with a full buff. Fishkov actually going to be able to grab Tobbs and still have a considerable amount of health to work with here. In the back line's going to be able to get a little bit of extra damage onto Phelps, who get taken down here. Alba rushes to the point, gets cleaned up by another rocket, and there's so much pressure on the point. The cap is almost finished here. The Uber is going to be exchanging all over the point, rotating players left and right. Fishkov is a little bit desperate to get back in there, but there's not enough time, and the respawns are up. But there's the cap from Clip, who single-handedly won that last push. He just did everything with no fear and was never shut down, and he was always in control in every fight.
Yeah, and then we also saw Smear, he just put some stakes on the point, and then he just basically hit out. And then just waited for people to just bait onto the point, and then no one could really contest it. So, just the same old trick. It's gonna make it 3-0 in favor of the Germans, with about 10 minutes remaining. So, you know, the bus crew, they really need to step up here if they want to have a chance here.
Right now, a little bit of pressure coming out from the bus crew. They do not want to get locked out in this choke, but Fishkov is making it very hard for Martin. Martin will survive on 13 HP. Peeks around the corner very dangerously because Tobbs is still in with full health. Gonna get met with by Klep. Clip will be doing a little bit of damage there, and a follow-up from Smears trying to get around the corner. He hits 2 stickies. One more pipe is all it's going to take. The paint drain is out, but will not connect, and Clip will surely stop any more pressure. The Germans once again holding on to this mid, but the caveat is they've lost their medic, but Martin died later, so they still have an uber advantage to work with.
Yeah, very close middle here. Whenever you have like a roamer capping it out at the very end of it, you know it was a close mid, and you know, a lot of the time you'll see medics go Kritzkrieg here, and that's exactly what Kratos has done. He seems to really like the Kritzkrieg, and whenever you have your enemy medic die really late, that's a good time to do it. So here we go. Actually, just gonna be a bunch of suicides in from the bus group, extremely aggressive, and they actually
kind of suicide. This is a distraction. Poison, who was in the face of all these players, was able to allow Alba to just walk in and grab all these frags. Clip, now the only player pretty much alive at Idolos, is on the respawn, meeting up with Kratos at the choke. It's Clip coming in hot onto Martin. Martin's going to be able to surf a side rocket there. Oh, but the rockets are still coming out. Almost connects onto him. And now we do see Idolos and Kratos waiting on the Grey Bridge.
Bait, dude. The perfect bait for the Kritzkrieg. This is all calculated. Let's go. Here it comes.
There it is. Oh, 2 shots. 1 connects and 2 fall. It's going to be Jan and Martin, the most important players, arguably, in a crits onto the point here if you're going to get 2 for 1. And Kratos takes a lot of damage. Alba's just around the corner, but he backs the wrong way. If he just walked onto Dayak, he would have killed the medic, and now Kratos back spawns mistakenly, thinking that he had the mid. Now he's going to be waiting for the forward spawns to come in. He will now be propelled forward into the resupply and meeting up with the rest of his team here. And now the bus crew are looking kind of like, man, how did we just... Is this 2010 or something?
Yeah. How do we fall for this? The oldest trick in the book. Just go Kritzkrieg, lose the DM fight, and then when they're capping the point, you just re-crits on them. Perfect.
And there's actually potential for, if I'm not mistaken, I do think he did pick up the Medigun. So they're thinking, you know, he's on that Kritzkrieg, but actually he's on Medigun right now. So they're building up quick. They're going to have their Uber for defending it, but they're expecting a crits, and now with losing poison, it's going to be very hard for the rest of the bus crew to hold on to this. They're backing out desperately through this lobby, getting players healed up left and right, but this Uber is going to be the biggest shock for this push, and I don't know if they're going to be prepared for it or not.
Yeah, they could have actually had a bit of an Uber advantage, but Kratos decided to arrow a bunch of people. And when you arrow people these days, you don't actually build Uber very effectively. So, you know, they lost out on quite a few advantage points there as far as Uber goes, and Alba even managed to pick off a person in the pyro before going down himself. So, you know, you might see a dot push. Yeah, it looks like we are actually going to get a dot push. Yeah, Kratos is way in there, but his scouts just didn't seem to be quite ready for it. So it's just going to be a very weird exchange here. As I think Martin is up way too far. Okay, he will go back in time. So, and now Kratos.
A lot of juking coming in through the battlements here. Phelps and Alba have tried to make their way in for the back lines, but they are both going to fall. And as great as that is for you know, the Germans, they still lost 3 of their own during that whole exchange. So now they're very desperately trying to get some pressure on the point here. Smear playing from the Pride Rock. The respawn of Stefan is going to come in, and oh, all the spawn waves get denied by that cap with just a moment to go. But Jan getting pressured here by Idalos, who's on his 3rd kill right now. He's going to be in a position to chase down the medic here. He's very low on health, though, so he's just going to back off and wait things out and repush with his team. The pressure on Spire is very strong. Going to get the Spire play, and there it is. Martin gets juggled before he could get out. But Phelps also pistoled down Kratos, so both meds go down. But the winner of this overall exchange is more...
Phelps is still alive. Oh my god, he did so much work. Finally gets taken down, but oh my god, that took so long. It's the
overall advantage Germans.
Yeah, for sure. We actually see Smear holding the door open here. I'm not sure if someone's going to come back. No, okay, he was just waiting for his own medic. And again, we see Alba just roaming in the upper lobby there. Will be able to take down a soldier as a pyro. He's quite weak right now, but it looks like they want to pressure the Spire, but this is going to be very difficult to actually pull off because of all the respawns coming in from the Germans.
And Clip putting in so much damage right now. Gonna grab Martin in the face of 3 players inside of lobby. He just walked his way in with the, a propelled rocket. Essentially walked his way in and got the frag. And now Stefan taunting with dignity as he goes down, but Phelps is gonna get cleaned up here by Smear, and now he's clearing the point. You see Alba coming in, flailing his mouse to be able to get the frag on anyone at this time, but we might see a little bit more of that action later, as all it takes to do more damage, or the same damage, is just flail your mouse and you'll hit more players.
He wasn't spastic enough as he pushed out there on that pyro. He could have just waved it way more and done 100% damage. Oh my god, look at this medic caught in, Kratos. He even popped his crit streak, but he was just caught. He would get taken down.
For shame, for shame. So now we're going to be seeing the point is getting recapped here by Alba. Looking good for the bus crew right now because they've been at a detriment. There's only 3 minutes left, but they could potentially take this round with dignity, make it a 3-1, 3-1 for both maps. They are going to take control of this point here, holding on to a 60% advantage beater, and I'm hoping they can make something happen here and not fail like before.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get in through choke here for free. And you can see they've got some speed on. They were expecting a fight, but they didn't find any. So now they're just going to get right onto Spire. It's not even going to be contested. So just an easy cap there, and then they can move all the way back into last body. They just lost 2 to Smear. It's a nice sticky trap there, and that's going to be the end of that push. I'm pretty damn sure. They do actually get fist cuffs, so maybe they're just going to keep on going anyway, even though they're 1 person down and has no medic.
Martin being down is going to make it a little hard for them, so they're going to try and hope to grab something out of this. We do see not a lot of action. There it is. There was Alba going in deep. Made it from behind the point, but couldn't get any further than that. So now it's going to be Tobbs waiting in trash. I heard an engineer setting up. It must be on last, though. It is the engineer on last. I was hoping maybe in a desperation play there was engineer, a forward blue engineer, setting up in lobby perhaps, but no. Cookie cutter for the bus crew.
Yeah, this is a pretty correct play, right? Like, you just want to just hold the last point to the point where you cannot lose, possibly, at all. And they have reached that point now, so now they can do whatever they want. It looks like they want to push out here. We see a very aggressive positioning right now for Kratos, but he will back off here once things decided that it wasn't going to work out. But I would be surprised to just see like a pyro just YOLOing out there into the great void of the enemy team and just gets completely demolished. But we'll see. Like, sure, they're going to do something, right?
Oh no, the Huntsman is out from the compound, something or another. I forget the name. Gonna get taken down here. Tried to put a little bit of damage onto that heavy. Couldn't connect the shot. Chiffon, Shocky, aka Stefan, will survive that exchange and start returning with his own Huntsman. And with 1:30 left, it's looking like we're gonna at least have a Huntsman battle at some point in this. But you see a lot of action onto Smear. Couldn't quite push out. That's gonna be a good frag for them because now there's no stickies on last. And unfortunately don't have the numbers to push in, but they have Tops from lower, and Jan try to come in from up top. There's a minute left. They could make something happen if they wait for their respawns, but then Smear will have a respawn. And there's the shot. Alba onto Stefan. That's one for the record books. The Huntsman is much more in favor of Alba. That's what was missing in Viaduct.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think Shocky has correctly called Alba out on his obvious hacks. You know, how else can you hit a Huntsman? So, see Smear getting completely rushed down, but haha, joke's on you, I have an Uber. And there's 30 seconds left, so now I can just farm logs, get better fantasy points. Come on, I think Smear's on my team. No, he's not, actually. But, yeah, everyone else will just Martin desperately trying to survive. Looks like he will actually survive as the Pyro tries to run away. Oh, Martin, he gets the kill. That's like 3 in fantasy.
That's the good stuff. That's what we like to see here. Phelps gonna get taken down by Smear in the lobby. GGs are called out. There's 10 seconds on the clock. Beater. Was this the beatdown of the century? No, that's too harsh, right?
Yeah, that was definitely too soon. I think it was sweet to see her, and the bus crew, they were pushing last a bunch of times, so yeah, the right team won, but you know, and the bus crew, they've just kind of shown themselves to be unable to win these close kind of matches. They're I think they're the last team in the league. Yeah, they are, and it's mostly because they've had a bunch of pretty close games, but they just haven't been able to get any points from them really. At least it's been very rare. So you know,
it's possible that gap from being on the bottom of the Premiership League is due to just the lack of that little extra thing that comes with every manual of high-level TF2. Like maybe they're missing a few pages in the middle or something, or they just can't quite break certain defenses or find the advantages they need. And that shows between experience, especially when you have old players like Smear and Shocky and Kratos. I don't know how long Kratos is playing, but I just assumed maybe he's been playing a while.
He's been he's like an old timer as well. I'm pretty damn sure, at least. Like he had a couple of seasons off here where he was playing Overwatch, but you know, he still seemed pretty good. So and he's definitely experienced in TF2. I assume that it's not gonna I don't think he forgot everything he learned in TF2.
Oh, it's hard to forget everything you learned in TF2.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have logs up, and I think because we're having a really good game. High damage, high KD. No air shots though, so not really a good game, I guess. But other than that, it's a very strong performance once again. So if you have him on your fantasy team, you're going to be happy. And then also Clip making his entrance known. He's back in the game. He's no crafty. He's better. That's what I see.
Sorry, I have such an issue with logs, so I'm going to be just a moment loading up the logs page.
All right.
Thank you, my friend hamaham, the producer extraordinaire. I'm now on the logs, and I can see words and letters and numbers and interpret their meaning for some profound
so what do you see
takeaway.
Then? What do you see?
I see Clip and Smear had a great game, and that's all I can really say at this moment.
No, that's what I said. You need to come up with something else.
So this is what happens when you're like looking at two different things at once and trying to listen to you, Peter. I'm sorry, I've let you down, but I'm paying attention. You have my full attention now.
All right. Well, I want to point out
the thing I'm noticing.
Okay.
The thing I'm noticing. Okay, I didn't notice anything, but let's scroll over to the medic stats because that's an interesting way to go, right?
Yeah, I guess
we can look at the medic stats and I see what was the drop from Martin. Oh, that was the sticky trap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when they were about to win. They were pushing into last, and then shut down immediately. That was a sticky trap, right?
Yeah, there was like 3.5 minutes left. They had to win 3 rounds, and they were like, "We can do this. We're gonna do it." And then they just like lost to a sticky trap, and it was like, "Oh, okay, I guess we can't do it." And that was over. But yeah, look at the amount of crit streaks on Kratos. That's it's quite a lot. It's like almost 50-50.
Yeah, it's a lot of crit streak. But I do agree with what they did for that one last push. Is you get a person to the point, and you just throw crit stickies from main because they're so content with we gotta stop the point, that they just walk right into a sticky, or not even walk into the sticky, but they walk to the point, and then Smear connects those stickies. So it almost worked out for them, but in the end they still won that push. It was an interesting exchange overall. But yeah, other than that, not much else we can speak of as far as stats go. Clip had a very high number of frags on soldiers. Almost over half of his kills were on soldiers, so maybe that has some value to some big brain of yours, Beater.
Well, I want to point out that Phelps was actually doing really well. You know, I had never heard of him before this. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I have. I hate to say it like this, but Phelps is like one of those scouts that you know of that's in Invite, but in Invite it's like he's always on a team that's in the bottom half of Invite.
Right.
So like he doesn't really stand out. That's my memory of Phelps the last time I saw him in Invite. Unless I'm thinking of Phelps when he was in IM. But either way, he belongs in the high level of TF2. It's just got to be with the right team to make any progress as far as ECA is concerned.
Yeah, you can see him crushing on mid there.
Yeah.
And he also had the top damage for his team, I believe. So that's pretty good on Scout, especially when you have like 150 ping.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just can't do. All right, and he had a positive KD. Just good stuff overall from Phelps there. Just really doing a good job representing his team as a good merc there. I think he's a merc. I don't think he's like permanently on the team. I'm not sure. Like we already have like Jinxed playing for Aura Electro, and he's been doing really well as well. But yeah, and
do we have players? Yeah. Let's grab Smear.
Hello.
Smear, you're joining us now live in the wake of your victory. Smear, how are you feeling?
It feels pretty good. I mean, we expect to win, but I think we're guaranteed playoffs now, so it feels pretty good.
Yeah. Is it okay that you don't have a pure German team? Like, I mean, Clip came back, but like, did that hurt you guys at all?
Well, I'm not German, so.
Oh, that's right. You're not German either. Yeah, you're part of the the plague of the German team.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is
the plague?
Can I say that? Yeah.
I'm not offended. It's okay.
As a Dane, I can confirm.
My apologies. We're also joined by Kratos, medic extraordinaire with the Kritzkrieg Smear. I was loving some of that action. It was bringing us back to the old days where Kritzkrieg could be used for a lot of very fun strats, and strats that usually don't succeed, like losing, backing out, and then kritzing onto the mid when they're all capping. That was very successful stuff overall, though. I was very pleased to see it. Any thoughts, Kratos?
Yeah.
What was your inspiration for switching to Kritzkrieg on those particular rounds?
Well, it's always good to switch to crits sometimes to have some fresh
it's always
stuff
good
going
sometimes.
On. Yeah, like if both medic dies, then we can switch to crits. So we have an even bigger advantage, or we have the advantage, or we have an even bigger advantage if I spawn a bit early. That was the case in that time.
Did you decide to lose that dry push they made onto middle on purpose so that you could bait them into the Kritzkrieg? Was that a master stroke?
I think we fed a bunch of players.
Yeah.
So we just back
I would
out.
like to say yes, but it would be a lie. I guess
I think I died super early.
Yeah,
so the call was to back out and just wait for me.
Yeah.
Right. What about the crafty situation? He played on Viaduct, and he played a lot of sniper. Was that like on purpose, or
it was on purpose? Clip actually sat out just so we could have crafty on that map. He did so well last game, so why not use it?
Yeah, like as long as he's on the roster, I see no wrong. It's pretty interesting to have your sniper main.
We should actually be called 7, as we're using 7 players this season.
There you go. You did 7 better than 7 did.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, how was Viaduct overall? Like, did it go as you expected it to, or was it easier or harder?
We lost. I think we lost a round.
Yeah, you did.
I think we should have won that round. Yeah. But overall, my team listened well to my calls, and like everything went pretty well. So like I'm happy with the results.
I think Kratos, I think you ate like a lot of random pipes, and died, and I think that's also why you lost that one round, right? Or no, actually that was Alpha.
Viaduct in the end. On Viaduct I ate some random pipes and died. That was early that round, and then in the end of the round we decided to stay on the right. And I think I went a bit too far on the right, and the soldier just came through the connector and to shot me. That was the case when we lost the round.
Yeah. What's your mindset on when playing Viaduct? Like, you seem to me like you were playing pretty passively when holding, so you would like just absorb people and then move forward like a lot.
That's for the sniper. If we have a sniper, it's better to hold passive. So we try to get picks and make it really, really hard for them to push without committing ourselves, and focus on getting Uber.
And what do you do when they get someone behind? Because that happened a bunch of times.
Well, we back out. Like if they cap the point, that's not that big of a deal. We can deal with that player first and then like contest the point. Because if they cap it, and we can immediately recap it with the player picks, they won't get anything out of it other than like 10 seconds on the cap.
so don't panic. Would have to be your
Yeah.
advice to new team.
If they have points, we have better spawns. So even trading a frag will be advantageous for us.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It reminds me of some old teams I used to watch in like America, like way back in the day, where they would just have like a heavy on the high ground, and then you just like wait for everyone to walk into them, just fragging, like they'd lose the point every time, but then they just recap it and gain more time. It seems to be kind of the same thing. But yeah, if you are now secure in your playoff spot, I think you're playing 7 next. Is that right?
Yeah.
We don't. We are. Yeah.
Yeah, we have 7.
On first time.
next game.
Yeah. So do you want to? Do you think you can get a better seed than 7? Or
It's gonna be
do you-
hard. I mean, they have
Well, if we win
2
one map,
games.
we have to win 2 maps, I think.
Yeah, we need to win both of them because they're still playing Ascent, so I don't know how the game against Ascent will go. Could be
Oh, that's
both
true.
way around. So it depends how their game against Ascent goes. If they like lose both maps, I don't know if that will happen.
It
But
is
then
unlikely.
most probably.
Yeah, I guess you're not too worried about it, right? Like it's the playoff that truly counts, I
No.
suppose.
We have the 3rd spot secured unless Nunia beats Ascent.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, mathematically we have top 4, so that's most important. I think 3 and 4th place doesn't really matter. Just the first map pick.
Yeah. How are the playoffs structured this year? Is it like you play like
guess
number 3
it's-
plays number 4, and then
I guess
Yeah.
yes, number 3 against 4, and then the winner of that against number 2, and the winner of that against number 1. Something like that.
okay. So you could potentially get a lot of games in the postseason where you could just sit on number 1.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Who do you think will join you in the playoffs? Like who's your favorites?
I believe in Omni 5.
Yeah, it looks like Omni 5.
I
I
actually
check
think
the next
Ascent is
fixtures.
like really strong at the moment, and I don't think Nunia is gonna get any points against them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Those are the was it Div 1 or was it High? It was High winners, right? Yeah, that made it through. So that's pretty exciting. Usually those teams struggle quite a bit, but that's some new blood in Prem, and they've really been doing well. So like what is it about that team you think that that's worth looking out for?
Omni 5?
Yeah.
Well, they seem to be like playing really well, and it's hard to argue with results. I know they have like some struggles with communication, but the DM is on top on like all the players.
All right, and then I guess finally, Smear, you joined kind of halfway through the season. How have you found your new role on this German team? Like do you do the calling? You say?
Yeah. Essentially, they were in need of leadership, so I played a few games for them, and it was fun. So I joined, and I've been like structuring the team and like trying to mold them as I want to play. And it's going pretty well, I think. But playoffs is gonna be a real challenge. I'm still excited.
It's going to be a true test. Do you have any questions, Ro?
Nope. I'm bad at
No.
these. 'Cause I
All
don't
right.
know people well enough.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. So let's just do some shout-outs, and Kratos, you can go first and shout out people.
Shoutouts to my team, and shoutouts to Mr. Moogle. Thanks for winning us the game.
Actually, you have to explain to us, who is Moogle?
It's a German legend,
A legend.
Hamaham legend.
Oh yeah, that's what he was known for, right? Yeah, he's like the DM donkey to be the best
The
all
DM donkey.
Yeah.
DM
Very
God.
flattering.
That's just what you call people who are really good at it, because like it's not because they're like, if they're better at you at something, they have to be bad people. That's just how it works, right? Like obviously they're not better people and better at MGE. Like that's just not cool. So you gotta insult them. Anyway, do you have any shoutouts, Mia?
Yeah. Well, I'm also gonna shout out to Moogle, and I'm gonna shout out to Alba and the rest of Pizza Polished, and everyone that I'm gonna meet at Denmark LAN.
Yeah, we're of course we're going to be seeing you at at the Copenhagen Games. I don't know if you're going, Ro, but I am.
I'm not. That's too much money. When you do Insomnia once, it's like, ooh, really big on the bankroll, you know.
Oh yeah, you can only have so many European trips.
I can only have so many European lands per year.
Yeah, I live close by. I live in Denmark, so I'm definitely gonna
You have
show
that
up.
luxury.
Yes. So I'll be there, and I'll even be playing. It's gonna be fun. Gonna kick all these nerds' asses for sure. No doubt about that one. And yeah, I also want to apologize about the STV issues, but both teams were really helpful and cooperative.
Yeah, I'm sorry for joining, by the way. That was not intended. There was an STV info I was given, and I don't think about the password too much, or like look at anything. I just see if there's a password, I'm like, okay, this is probably STV, and it was the actual server.
No harm done.
Yeah. So he was in the future for a little bit, but it was.
Yeah, no,
it was
I
all
got to
good.
predict the first mid, and it was great.
Yeah, and then of course, big shout out to Hamaham, who's doing a great job on the camera, and big shout out to God for making cough. That's fun. And yeah, thank you guys all for watching. It's going to be really exciting to see who the last playoff spot's going to fall to. It's going to be a very close run, and then of course it's going to be fun to see who, if anyone will be able to challenge Ascent in 7. So there's a lot of good stuff coming up, and I will try to update the fantasy result as fast as possible, and then not forget it this time around. Oops. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.